This video will be an analysis of Deku as a character and my reading of his thought process, and a study of him and his writing. Thank you for watching, and I hope I can reach the highest level of excellence I can with this one. Now on to the show! Touching upon what I talked about in the previous video, Deku is someone that grew up in a situation where fighting back or standing up for yourself would only get you a beatdown. Because of this, he doesn't have a lot of self-confidence in his ability, making him doubt himself and downplay himself in ways that go against his basic nature. Because of this, his progress has been heavily impeded. This manifests early on in Chapter 5, smashing into academia to What Can I Do For Now?, where we see he tries to regulate his quirk but keeps having flashback to his destroyed body in Chapter 4, making him give up using it before he tries out of fear and only uses it when all other options are removed. This is very consistent with his character. He is one who always downplays his growth as a person, and it hurts him in a lot of ways. I think this chapter and its relevance to his person is really underplayed. One of the things I noticed while reading was his attitude while working on the gym tests. If you pay attention, he heavily improved from when he was in middle school. He went from a poor 40 hand grip to a very good 56. But because someone else can do better, he doesn't really see any improvement, because everyone else is at a much higher level of excellence. You can't see just how much he's grown as a person just yet, but the way Deku responds to this is really interesting. He has this weird hybrid of a challenge mindset and a threat mindset. This is just my reading of his thoughts, although I think there's enough evidence in universe to support it since other characters noticed how contradictory his actions seem. I would say on the surface he has a threat mindset where he gets worried about losing everything he has, and makes him lose his resolve. But under that is a challenge mindset where when he sees someone better than him, he views it as a challenge to himself to get better. It's why he doesn't hate people that are outperforming him. He appreciates their level of excellence, which both excites him for seeing someone that amazing, but also makes him see himself as lesser. It's a unique way to see things, and it's one I find interesting. It ties into his unique relationship with Bakugo. Deku sees Bakugo as excellent, as such does not truly hate him. Instead, he wants to reach the same level as him and even above it, which is why instead of dismissing him, he studies him and his fighting style. Deku respects people he sees as better than him, and tries to take aspects about them onto himself to become excellent, with examples being Gran Torino, All Might, and Bakugo, and basically anyone he finds interesting. This is his strength and his weakness. His studying gives him a large arsenal to use, but it also means that he has no real fighting style that's natural to him and uses by instinct. We see in the Bakugo fight that his knowledge of him gave him an advantage, but, as stated by Yaoyorozu, he only won because it was a training exercise with exploitable constraints. If it were a real fight, he would have lost, and the reason why is because unlike Deku, Bakugo had a strategy and a win condition with his quirk on its own, while Deku, on the other hand, because he lacks experience with his quirk, and tries too hard to copy others, is unable to do the same. He can't look at himself for his style, and ends up copying All Might to an almost religious extent. This is something Gran Torino commented on while he was training with.
Listen to me. The way you used One For All in the cavalry battle and the tournament showed that you're adjusting to the quirk. You understand its fundamentals, but your admiration for All Might and sense of loyalty to him are shackles on you.
It's Deku having a hard time understanding basic things even All Might managed to figure out extremely quickly. Deku, because of his self-doubt, can't process that One For All is his ability, so he's held back from using it to its fullest, and his growth is limited because of it. Which is why shoot style was a massive mark on his growth, since it was a declaration of his own fighting style. By the way, some people don't seem to understand what this scene was about, and because of the memes, think it's such a no-brain thing, or it's stupid that it took him that long to figure it out without realizing three things. 1. Up till then, he only used techniques other people had, so shoot style was a mark on growing his style away from his idea of being like All Might. 2. It's not that he didn't know he could kick. He's shown that he knows he can use his legs with One For All. It's that he didn't know he could use them as its own fighting style. 3. Like how anyone can throw a punch, anyone can throw a kick, but to truly master it takes time and dedication, and throwing a random kick without training usually results in getting your leg caught and getting flipped. I don't see why Deku realizing the potential of his legs is such a joke outside of looking at it from a superficial level. It's after getting shoot style that Deku starts to become more confident in his abilities and starts making progress in his training, but he wouldn't take care of his doubt till he met a unique individual, which I'll get into going into my next video, talking about how much impact Lemillion had on Deku and his growth as a character. I can't include it here because, being honest, I think the aspect of their art together needs to be fleshed out on its own with its own context, with this video being more optional supplementary information to understand it. Now, in conclusion, Deku is someone that has great potential, but is held back by self-doubt, making his growth limited in his ability, with his development throughout My Hero being the gradual growth of his sense of self-confidence and being able to put more faith in his own ability. Deku, as the manga goes on, has become truly self-assured and self-reliant, making a massive character growth, all without having to artificially change his basic personality, a true hallmark of Hirokoshi's writing. Well, that's it. Ciao till part 2. Have a nice day!